the channel, fool. Thanks for tapping in. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe for videos like this.
He knows. What kind of going on here? What? What did you say? What did you say, Mommy?
And what was that in the background? Just badass. That ain't Tobito, that's Robito.
This talking about she can move the water bottle with her hand. Go ahead.
Perfect for ramen or a hot drink on the go.
Go run 3 miles right now, send me a video. I ain't playing with
that, bro.
Alright, bye. I love you.
What kind of relationship is that? It's like your.
It's like I had him when I was your age. 21. I had him when I was 21.
Oh, so he's like your boy.
Yeah, I raised him since he was 6 years old. He's my clone. I cloned him in Germany.
What? Germany?
I can talk about it now, but
You cloned him?
yeah.
How'd you clone him?
I can't talk about that part.
But tell me what happened. You actually cloned the kid?
Yeah. He's my clone.
You cloned him?
Yeah.
What? Where's the other version of him?
Right here.
And who said people won't drink dog's milk?
Still follow me, but you gotta remain calm and don't run. Have the pepper spray at the ready. You stop for
So I break my leg yesterday playing basketball, and I got this attention-seeking goofy right here pretending he feels my pain, bro. Stop playing with me, bro. Get up, bro. You a clown, gang.
I didn't even know their leg could stretch that far.
Would your wife know your ATM PIN code? No?
No.
Lie to me. Do not tell me your real ATM PIN code. Make up a fake 4-digit number.
2020.
How'd I do, Joe? Is that your ATM PIN code?
Yeah. That's weird. I'm skeptical because I've got that PIN code in the mail. You know?
He's calling his bank right now and be like, Joe, do you know this? Has this guy been playing the long game?
Yeah, I don't like that.
So I'm out here picking up trash, and I'm finding something very interesting. Somebody left French fries here. They've been out here for over a day. I was thinking the birds would eat them. The birds won't touch them, not even the seagulls. And over here, this is even more curious. These are blackberries. They didn't touch them either. So it doesn't matter if we eat processed food that the birds don't eat, or even stuff that looks like it grows off of a plant. It makes me wonder, what are they putting in the food that makes it so that even seagulls won't clean up the mess after we leave it? I just find that really curious.
The best show in China.
Latin is the language that the medical industry and the pharmaceutical industry holds itself to. If they use words that you don't use in English every day, they look like some superior being with a knowledge that you don't have. 4 centuries now of Latin dictionaries tell you the word virus has only one definition. It's a poison or venom. When you look at the English to Latin side of the dictionaries, the English word venom for 4 centuries now only translates to one Latin word.
Is it virus?
It is virus. If a virus is a poison, particularly a venom, how is it possible then that there are actually viral seasons every year? What do they encourage every flu season starting in August in America?
To get your flu shot.
It's time to get your flu shot. And I just told you just a few ingredients in all of the 9 flu vaccines, and most of them are known chemicals or poisons.
This the size of a 35-inch freaking mud tire. It just goes all the way to the roof. Oh my God. Yellow jacket nest.
He's gonna wake up and the whole house will be levitating.
Guys, all the more.
Nah, y'all ever been in a bathroom skipping alone, bro? This is crazy. I'm in here, bro, just alone, and it's like mad weird, bro. Cause it's like, what if there was some monster or something pop up on me? It'd be crazy, bro. But I don't know. Like, there's nobody in here. You could come out. I don't even know, bro. But yeah, there's nobody right here, bro. But this crazy, bro. I don't know, but that's mad weird. What the?
And the seagulls are eating it. Oh, free food. Lots of seagulls.
Bro's been using Duolingo.
Look. Now, what would you do if you was just minding your business and you just got literally, like, what the? Wow.
And you know what? Shit happens.
Trader Joe's is a fake healthy place.
Facts.
They actually have these like frozen, I've seen it on TikTok actually. They have these frozen TV dinners and like these burgers that are really like, they don't biodegrade at all. And like a lot of other foods that, and that's the thing, like Trader Joe's, they actually have their own in-house manufacturer. So that's another thing.
Talk about it, because you notice that you find at Trader Joe's, you can't find at Whole Foods, you can't find at Sprouts.
Right.
There's a reason for that.
Right. So being that they have their own in-house, they can kind of control their own, you know, like what they put in it, what they take out, like how much ingredients and all that stuff. What the I'm saying? So like, are we going to get so far down the road to where we're not even eating real food, which I don't think we are at this point.
Sleep paralysis can actually result from a few different kinds of things. But one of them, the most common one, is that You are shifting for whatever reason, whether you're interacting with other beings or not, you sometimes will shift between what you consider to be the physical reality and the spirit reality. But in the mid-shift, you're not really exactly in one or the other, and you may sort of be conscious of the fact that you're sort of straddling two different vibrational realities and not understand how to move in either of them yet. That can cause what you experience and call sleep paralysis. You no longer really are exactly in the physical world, so you can't really move in that one. You're not completely in the spiritual one, so you're not really sure how to move in that one. It causes kind of a crystallization or a locking up that acts as a transitional bridge between the two. So it's a temporary state that represents that transitional vibrational shift.
And sometimes it's not, like, because usually sleep paralysis present people with something scary.
Well, that's only because their physical mind doesn't quite understand what's happening, and it sometimes can interpret the unlocking from physical reality as an actual death. It actually feels like it's being annihilated. That's not the case. Another reason why some people might be a little bit scared of it is because sometimes that transition might be happening by being in contact with other beings from other dimensions who may be helping you cross that barrier into their reality. And again, you feel out of control because those other beings are more familiar with that process than you may be, and you may not have been brought up with the tools to understand how you're participating in that crossing, in that transition. So it might seem a little scary because it feels like you're out of control, even though you're not really.
Can we get a 3-leg backflip, please?
For the whole fucking... Oh.
That's the paralyzation station or something like G-force training.
They find out that they were planning on selling her meat on the dark web. This is one of the reasons why everybody needs to stay off the dark web. So this happened in 2020 in Missouri to this lady named Cassidy Rainwater. One day that year, she ends up going missing without a trace. Everybody around her that knew her was pretty much like, what the hell happened to her? People that knew her, they contact the police. The police end up doing a investigation trying to figure out what the hell happened to this lady and where did she go. They get an anonymous tip from someone who sends them an image. It's a picture of this lady, Cassidy Rainwater. She's in a cage and she's like partially naked.
Oh.
While they're doing all their research, it leads them to these two men that live in the same area. And one of the guys actually was pretty close to her. And he was this dude who she trusted, and he was helping her get on her feet. They get like a warrant to go inside these guys' houses, and when they go inside of their house, they're just finding a couple weird things that they're like, okay, this is weird, this is a little bit weird. And then one of the investigators was like, you know what, I want to check the fridge. To these people's surprise, they open the fridge, they find a whole bunch of meat that is packaged with a date on it. Pretty much the date was around the same time this girl Cassidy went missing. They end up taking these guys, they take them in. As they're in custody, they take all of these bags of meat and they start to, scan it for the DNA and see what it is. It matches with Cassidy's DNA.
Damn.
These people end up interviewing them. They're interviewing the guys. They find out that they were planning on selling her meat on the dark web.
Really?
Yes, and that's why these guys chopped her up. And these guys had, like, I don't want to say a market of it, but there was guys online that wanted to buy.
Clients.
Yes, and that's why they had that picture of her in the cage. It's basically like when you see a cow and they'll show a picture of it alive and be like, hey,
This is the cow we're selling.
They were doing that with this girl Cassidy.
Whoa.
That's why they had her in that cage like that.
I was just about to start watching TV. My daughter's watching Cocomelon beside me. And I just looked
That's the future of Balenciaga.
Do you think Kai Cenat is related to P. Diddy? I think Kai Cenat is P. Diddy's son. I've always thought that. Just because he sort of blew up out of nowhere, doesn't know his dad, looks exactly like P. Diddy. Look up a picture of P. Diddy on Google Images and then look up a picture of Kai Cenat. He's the spitting image of P. Diddy. And then I thought it's kind of a weird allegation to make just based on his look. Even though he looks exactly the same as P. Diddy. Like dead on, he has exactly the same face. Exactly the same face as P. Diddy. He moved out into like some kind of streaming mansion. Like he did the collaboration where he moved out into his streaming house. And he was neighbors with P. Diddy. Of every house in America possible that he could have moved out from. Both from New York as well. And he moves out to the neighboring home of P. Diddy. And that's his new content house. Any house ever in the US he could have moved into. The neighboring house of P. Diddy. It was already paid for him, man. That's what I think. I think he's P. Diddy's son. And he's made to subvert the youth into being more degenerate. So that's what I think. And then he gets like the Diddy crew on his stream. Who are the most viewed, who are the most often frequent collaborations of Kai Cenat? Kevin Hart, Drewski. Pretty much any celebrity with any level of Diddy allegation just fucking shows up on his stream and rebirths their career after some crazy allegation came out. Forget what you heard about Kevin Hart being at a Diddy party. Here he is on a Kai Cenat stream. Dancing. Drewski allegation. Here he is on Kai Cenat's stream dancing around. Yeah, I mean. So I wouldn't be surprised. LeBron as well, yeah. LeBron was calling in. LeBron was FaceTiming Kai Cenat ages ago. And he had a bunch of stuff out as well. So I don't know. Maybe I'm reaching.
Every once in a while, something in technology comes completely out of left field. This is one of those things. So scientists were embedding nanoparticles into the eyes of mice to try and figure out how they could make them see infrared. And they were successful, but then they realized they could just embed it into contact lenses. These are Chinese scientists, by the way, not that it matters. But they tried these contacts on human beings, and this is invisible light. They showed this invisible light to people wearing and not wearing the contacts, and the people wearing the contacts could immediately see the light. What's crazier is that the people who could see the invisible infrared light could see it better with their eyes closed. I am not making this up, by the way. This is from a YouTube video by Anton Petrov, and this is the full paper. Yeah, I'm ripping that video off, but I just have to let people know. This is the wildest sideways swing in technology. Basically, you're going to be able to see infrared light, a whole new way to see light. You're going to be able to see through, there was some cameras that could see through clothes a while ago. That was infrared light. You're going to be able to see things that you could never see before by putting on a pair of contact lenses. You're going to be able to see in the dark. You're going to be able to see better through your eyelids when it comes to infrared light. You're going to have heat vision. Now, the first models are just blurry because they use these nanoparticles that are diffuse, but eventually they're going to use like carbon nanotubes or something, and the resolution is going to get better. This is like gaining a whole new sense, the kinds of things we're going to be able to see when they translate this infrared vision, because they actually split it into red, green, and blue as well. The kinds of things we're going to be able to see when we combine all of this new information is going to be wild. And this just came out of nowhere. Like, where did this technology just come out? This is what you needed to see infrared before, or like this, which is what plumbers used to see into walls. And pretty soon, because of some Chinese scientists who said, I wonder if these nanoparticles vibrate with infrared light. If we put these into contact lenses, if people could see them, we're going to be able to see infrared light. A whole new section of the spectrum is going to be piped into our brains, seeing heat, seeing through fabric, seeing in the dark, seeing through our eyelids. And this came from nowhere. What is this even going to mean to the world?
Street vendors mixing your drink right in front of you.
Okay, after I got back from a short run, I came back to take a shower before going to work. And after the shower, I go into my room, getting dressed, and I hear somebody walking down the stairs, these stairs. Clearly somebody walking down the stairs. And then I hear some shuffling, so I come downstairs, I'm like, hello? Nobody's here. No one was here early this morning. And I come downstairs into the kitchen, and this is what I find. Let me turn the light on. This is what I find. I'm officially freaked out. Nobody's in here. All the cabinet doors and the drawers are open. All of them. I mean, I'm not scared, but I am officially freaked out. All of the doors are open. Didn't hear this kind of noise. I heard like shuffling, like somebody was in here walking or something. And then I come in here and these drawers are open as well. And the chairs are by the table, but turned the other way. I mean, what the fuck? This is so weird. I've experienced stuff in this hotel before, but nothing like this. You know, hearing a door slam. That was a long time ago, though. But it's just so weird.
Masons itself brag about the fact that their first Mason was Tubal-Cain. Now, Tubal-Cain, if you know your Bible, was the seventh man from Adam by way of Cain, and he was the guy that invented metalworking. And he is supposedly the first Mason. Now, that's pretty far back to start a conspiracy. Now, of course, we all know who Nimrod was. He's the guy that helped build the Tower of Babel. That's pretty good masonry, amen? And he was the person who basically had the idea for a one-world government. He wanted to start a United Nations. If you look in the books, the literature of Masonry, you will find that Masonry says it is the direct linear descendant from the ancient mystery religions, from the ancient fertility cults. Well, the ancient fertility cults were cults that revolved around human and animal reproduction. I'm sorry to be blunt, but that's what they mean. It's Baal worship, essentially. All of them, their rites involve sexuality. And that's the same thing that Masonry is. That's why the god of Masonry is the phallus. That's why you have Masonic monuments like the Washington Monument that look like a giant phallic symbol. It's that simple. So this is the conspiracy.
Look, y'all, my auntie got her baby. She love her baby, though. That's my mom. That's your baby. My dog.
And the rabies symptoms already showing.
In Peru in 2011 for ayahuasca ceremony, and in a really unusual situation where the 17 of us that went down together were all separated and led through our ayahuasca ceremonies as a kind of initiatic ordeal alone, like intentionally separated from one another rather than in a more kind of traditional circle, ceremony setting. And all 17 of us, separated and out of contact with one another through ceremony, all saw these weird sort of mantis-like black chrome kind of aliens that appeared to us each individually. And the next morning we all came back and we were like, oh, you saw that too? Like, what? And in my case, these beings that, you know, kind of ran through the whole kind of classic gamut of behavior, including, you know, psychic surgery on you. Like, you know, they're like opening up your energy body and operating on your subtle energy systems or whatever. So I had that experience, and I had the experience, the beings that I saw in ceremony that year were trying to explain to me. I mean, again, like this is the subjective experience I had of this, was that they appeared to me out of nowhere, and I was like, so how are you here? You know, what is this? How are you showing up to me right now? Like, are you, you know? And what they were saying was that that there are different substrates on which life can emerge, or from which life can emerge, and that biochemistry, organic biochemistry, is one of them. But organic biochemistry represents a specific stratum of temperature and pressure at which life can occur, and that life can occur at other pressures in other states of matter, and that their form of life occurs in plasmas that are, you know, they're like ionized gases that are so hot and so electrically charged that organic life cannot develop from them, but that they can generate basically like magnetic holograms, and that the kinds of interactions that are necessary for life can emerge out of the substrate of those holograms. And so they were basically like, well, you actually have this too, like the you know, the living biological systems on the planet as we conventionally understand them all have this energetic component, which is, you know, if you look at the work of like Irvin Laszlo or Rupert Sheldrake or some of these other people that have been trying to understand a new biology, a lot of them, you know, puzzle into the relation of electromagnetism and you know, quantum vacuum holograms and so on. But the thing about they were saying is like, well, we have like a material body. It's just that our material body is plasma, and you have you have like a plasma body, but that's not where evolution has tuned your attention, or has tuned your organization as and the encapsulation or the incarnation of an inference, a model of its environment. Like, you live on a slow, cool planet, and so the focal point for you as a living system is on this the material, the chemical substrate, whereas we are too hot for chemistry, but we are holograms made out of the magnetic interactions of heavy metals at the center of the galaxy. And so, like, we can appear to you through the nonlinear interactions of, you know, our sort of subtle body and yours. But this is where we don't occupy time and space in the same way that you do, because of, you know, the fact that our experience is centered on a different, you know, the emergent interactions of a different phase of matter. I was like, oh, okay. All right, cool. You know,
Noted.
Yeah, noted. So like, but they were basically like, look, there's nothing supernatural about this. There's nothing, you know, this is the same physics that you have. This is the same, you know, substrate for biology on a very general level, but like, you can't, like, your eyeball would dissolve instantaneously if you tried to like actually physically co-locate with us. And, you know, the only way that we're able to appear to you is kind of like remotely through this spooky action at a distance or whatever.
Remember, the universe is holographic. And that's a wrap for today, fool. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, don't forget to hit and smash the like button for me. Smash that subscribe button, be part of the family. Remember, stay woke, and I'll catch you next time.